Welcome back to another episode of The Agent Goldmine, where Ali Garcet and Shelby Johnson are, in this episode, we're interviewing each other and talking about our investing journey. So a little bit of a hiatus, just a bit from the typical agent stuff. In case this is your first time listening, we both are top producing agents. We help other real estate agents get from $100,000 a year to $200,000. So if you're already a seasoned agent and you feel like you're stuck, reach out to us. We're Ali the Agent on Instagram. That's Ali, Ali. And we are The Shelby Show on Instagram. That's Shelby, Shelby.
Welcome to the Agent Goldmine, the only podcast in the world specifically for real estate agents who are stuck at 5 transactions a year to help them get to 20 plus. Your hosts, Ali Garcet and Shelby Johnson, 2 EXP icon agents, each do over 40 transactions a year and interview others who are crushing it. In this podcast, you'll receive the knowledge to help you scale your business using systems and processes with our interviews and monologues twice a week. If you want to be a part of our community, reach out. Welcome to the show.
But on this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I feel like a lot of agents forget that they should also be buying more properties. And well, I don't want to say should. Everyone, okay, should is a bad word. But don't forget that as you're helping other people increase their net worth, increase your own too. So it could be in your own backyard. It could be long distance. It could be whatever. I used to be the co-host of the Invest to Fi podcast, and both of us, Shelby and I, are investors first. We were investors before we became real estate agents. So that's like who our community is too. Like really with 5 pillars at EXP, majority of us are investors first. So this one's going to be a little bit more on that topic and a little bit of more background in case you are a new listener. So Shelby at one point had 74 Airbnbs at the age of what, Shelby?
That's not quite true.
Oh, shit.
It's okay. It was so close. Ali, you did so well. I had 74 units. Some call them doors. I only make fun of that now because I went through a whole phase. Okay, if you're just getting into the investing world, there's this thing that investors do. They're like, how many doors do you have? Ali, back me up.
Yeah, oh, and even if they are part of a syndication where they have 1% ownership, they're like, oh, well, I have 300 doors, but it's 1% of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, So anyway, it's that now it's a joke, that was literally me making fun of me from like 4 years ago, but that's fine. So, but yeah, I had 74 units, doors across a variety of different properties from anywhere from condos, single family, duplex, tri, quad, 5 unit, 6 unit. My biggest was an 8 unit. But the reason why I was like, that's not quite true is because they weren't all Airbnbs. The most I ever had with Airbnbs was 18 of them of the 74.
At what age?
At what age? That was by the end of 2020. So I was 30 years old at that time.
Woo!
Yeah.
And you were featured on a couple of magazines, right? Like a couple of
Business
articles.
Insider, if you've heard of Business Insider. Also, I was on Bigger Pockets, the episode 406. If that was back when Brandon Turner and David Green were the hosts. So not quite OG because Josh Orkin wasn't there, but it was like OG, like adjacent. 2.0. It was like pretty OG.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I did those through a variety of different strategies. People are like, how did you acquire so much? And it wasn't all me. I had partnerships within that. The most I ever had was 4 people in a partnership, though. It wasn't like a syndication. And then I had, a couple with 3 people, and I had a couple partnerships, just me and one other. And then, several of them were just myself as well. And I was very, scrappy back in the day and had to make it work, had to invest. Like Ali said, it was investor first type of vibes. Like I got into real estate to gain financial freedom through real estate investing. Like passive income was the goal, and real estate sales was the means to make the money to pour into my passive income, which is funny now looking back. Like I felt so broke for so many years, like even closing deals, because the minute it was closed, even before sometimes, like I had that money gone. The money was straight into either the acquisition or the renovation or the absolute storm that happens when you are a landlord between tenants and just the tree that falls on the house, the hurricane that comes through, all of those things. And I'm not here to discourage. Those are it's all to say is that acquired a lot, and it was, I mean, amazingly helpful. And I did offload a bunch since that 2020. I'm down to like, I want to say like 20 now, which actually feels great.
Oh, yeah,
But
I'm
the
sure that
whole
does.
I am glad to have, I'm so grateful to have them, and investing has helped me in so many ways with my own financial freedom, or just not having that feeling of like, oh, how am I going to sustain my life? How am I going to feed my family? Like, what does my future look like? Thank God that those things are now no longer a part of my day to day headspace, all due to real estate investing and revenue
Mm.
share.
Yeah, revenue share,
Right.
definitely. I wanna go further into the that feeling. I read or I heard on a podcast somewhere that, like, the feeling of, well, like, starvation, like, "I'm one step away from starvation, like, I need to make more." The feeling of not having enough doesn't go away. This is, like, somebody's theory, like, if you make 100K or you make 1,000,000, like, that feeling still stays the same, and I think I believe that. Like, when I heard that, I was like, "That is me." I'm making about almost I should be making 300K right just in agent sales, and I'm like, I still feel as if I'm back in the military, like, oh, saving every dollar, like, do you feel that way too? Really? Okay.
I
How?
I don't think it's a money thing, because I know that to be true for a lot of people. It's like no matter how much money they have. And one of my really good friends actually has felt that way for years, even though she's like wildly successful as like an agent and an investor and making boatloads of money. And so I know that like it is a feeling that is very common, but for me, I think a lot of it comes from like my, the psychedelic journey and the reflection and like this inner peace, and doing a lot of like work on being present and understanding like and I think it also comes from like not wanting a lot too. And because I don't like, I mean, I have everything that I need. I could want more, and I do want more. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like good forever, but like, I look around my house and I'm like, "Ugh, I love being here." And I look at my Subaru, my lesbian car, which I'm not a lesbian,
I
guys. And
love being a lesbian.
I like go to the gym. And, like, I love my food that I eat. I don't know. It's just, I feel very at peace, and I don't have that panic that I did have and felt strongly for years. So, yeah. I think
Damn,
that it's possible to get rid of it is my point.
drugs are the way.
And I can't
That's what I
credit it all
need.
to drugs because it's also like the work that comes from it. I think that you can have the same effects without drugs, but the thing with the psychedelics in particular is that it forces you to sit there. Because this is what you and I do, Allie. If left to our own advice, we're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I'm going to reflect. I'm going to meditate. How long does it last?
4 minutes.
I was going to say like
Maybe
four.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was going to say like 34 seconds. If left to our own device, because we are such go, go, go people that it's like, oh, I did it, check the block, on to the next task. And I don't think that you can really like go deep and peel back all of the onions of your psyche and your soul and all the shitstorm within it unless you're like literally forced to do nothing but that for like 12 hours straight and there's absolutely no escape. And then you do that once a month for an entire year, and it like,
Oh, it's
that's
not a
for
one-time thing?
Oh, no, no, no. You know that my psychedelic journey has been, because it wasn't just like just about money. This is like a holistic layers of,
Yeah.
and guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, Shelby, what are you doing talking about psychedelics? Well, surprise, there's an entire Agent Goldmine episode on this exact topic.
I
So if
think
you'd
it's
like to go
episode
back,
3.
oh yeah. So like if you'd like to go back and figure out how psychedelics changed my life and my business, you're more than welcome to do that. Um, what were we saying?
The moving away from this I don't wanna call it scarcity, but fright?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
the flight or flight. No,
Yeah,
that's
or just, like, being scared of or feeling like you just don't have enough yet. You're not there. You're not there. You're not there. Even though your income keeps increasing, like, and
yeah. Well, are your expenses increasing? Is there a lifestyle creep? This is not a direct
Yeah.
question, Allie. This is like a reflection question for, maybe people who are struggling with this. And I'm not saying this about you, but I'm just saying like I can absolutely see how there would be no change in the safety feeling if the factors grew at the same rate. Because if
Yeah.
you're making more but you're spending more, you're in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you started your psychedelic journey and then I presume that's before you just that triggered you to start wanting to sell? Like that came first and then you sold?
Yeah, actually. That is
Okay.
true. Like, I did most of my psychedelic journey in 2020. Like, those 12 months actually from, like, I guess a little bit before COVID through,
Okay.
and then afterwards, I really that is where I did, like, the whole, like, "What do I actually want in life? Why am I running so hard every single day, chasing, 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 like, literally killing myself for what?" And that's when I was like, I gotta pause. I gotta take a break. I gotta take a knee, drink water because I'm doing something wrong here. And that is when I shut down Five Pillars Realty Group. And that is when I started selling off property and thought about what problems I wanted in my world. What did I want to do with my time? It's funny because we started this as like, hey, we're gonna talk about real estate investing, and suddenly we're back here.
But I mean, there is a connection.
There is
So
a connection, yeah.
and that's your story. So
Yeah.
so the doors that you have now, the 20,
Mhm.
are they co-owned? Or do you own it with somebody else or is it just you?
We are almost done with all of the partnerships. I think we have 2 more. I know one's under contract. It's a single family. It's my first burr ever. Little and
Aw.
it's funny, like, when we were deciding to sell this, it kinda hurt, I was like, "Damn, I guess I do have some emotions." I do have emotional attachment. I, like, pride myself in, like, "I'm not a feeler." And I'm like, "But wait, that was my first one, and I worked so hard," and you know what I mean? I went through the
Yeah.
whole thing, but it is under contract right now, and we have one more that's a partnership. It's that last one is a 50/50. The one that we're selling now, I'm 66% owner, 33 is my partner, and then the 50/50 one will be sold this spring, and then that'll be it. And all the rest will be 100% the Drelby Trust. I think it's actually is called Drelby Trust, which is like hilarious.
That's
Um,
funny.
yeah, and it's just ours, and that's it.
Huh. Um, okay. And that's where you think that you're gonna stay for until you get the itch again. If
Yes,
you it yeah.
if I get the itch again. I think
Yeah.
that I might down the road because remember there was a time where I'm like, I'm never gonna get back into sales. And here I am, and I'm like literally loving it. I'm like having the very best time. So I can never say never. And when I was like, I'm never going to acquire, no. I mean, I probably will. Let's be real. So sometime
Yeah.
I might get more, but I'm like very happy with, especially the fact that like, I think I talked about this before. My husband being my finance guy, he's also now, lead property manager and deals with
Nice.
all the renos or like any issues with utilities or insurance and all that stuff. So like now I'm like, oh yeah, real estate investing is great. I mean, I only have the this is perfect.
Yep, yep, you save on the cost of the property manager because
That's
that's
right.
your husband.
Well, I mean, like we still have a property manager, but if you've been in real estate investing, you know that the property manager needs a manager because unless they're stellar, which we do have one, our one in Washington State, my first ever accidental rental property is like the freaking gem. It has the best property manager ever. They're amazing. So I know it's possible. It's just we haven't found it yet in Fayetteville.
If you are looking to change brokerages this year so you can increase your business and you want to join us at eXp Realty and would like either myself, Ali Garced, or Shelby Johnson to personally sponsor you in, so that way you have access to 2 icon agents, text the word join to either my number, 914-318-4918, or Shelby's number, 859-267-3849. If I sponsor you and you have access to the both of us and everything that's Five Pillars Nation, we have the checklist, the systems, the processes to help you scale your business. And don't take our word for it. We've had agents switch brokerages to join us that were stuck making $300,000 GCI, and they join us so they can scale. So text the word join to those numbers and we'll take the next steps. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then um, on my side, I started investing in 2016 and I took the slow route The owner occupied, move in for a year, move out, rent it out, do it again. Year over year, we've done that 7 years in a row now, and we're probably going to continue doing that. Um, and then while doing the slow route, um, we also saved up some more money for down payments here and there for some like long distance investing with just normal Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, 20% down conventional loan, like very traditional. This is my first time where I'm under contract right now on a
Mm.
commercial unit, DSCR loan. And I don't think I'll ever go back to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac unless it's another owner occupied because, oh my God, the lending. Oh, when I'm helping clients get properties and the lender tells me like, "Hey, they submitted all their docs and it's been 24 hours." I'm like, "That's beautiful." Like that is so much. Like that is so, oh my God. They just like continue asking for more and more paperwork. I hate it. So I think I'm going to continue doing more DSCR loans. But you know what,
Because there's no
Megan,
paperwork, basically, or
because
what?
yeah,
It's so
yes.
limited.
Yes, because it's limited. There is definitely still paperwork and they're like, "Oh, another month has passed by. Can we have another checking account stub?" Which is fine. But it's significantly less than normal loans.
And for those of you who don't know what DSCR loans are, that's yeah, is it debt service credit ratio? Is that the abbreviation, Allie?
I think coverage ratio,
Coverage?
but yeah, same
Okay.
concept.
Basically, if the income from the property can cover the debt, then the lender will finance the loan with other stipulations. Like you have to have a good credit score and they like to have a proof of rent investing history. But otherwise, there's like literally nothing they check besides reserves. But they don't even, it's not even like very thorough. And the reason why I'm like bringing this up is because for years, I could not qualify for like a normal loan, conventional type of financing because I just got out of the army. I didn't have income. I didn't have the taxes. And then my taxes were all just like hot garbage. So I was always like, I don't really have very much. Anyway, then so that's when I started getting all my financing like through DSCR. And I was like, wait, you literally need nothing on me?
It's
Sign me up.
crazy.
It's
It's
great.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you say that they need proof of past,
Experience.
experience. I've never been asked for
Oh,
that.
really? Well,
I
by
was
proof, it's like, how many deals have you done? Like,
Yes,
it's like a
verbal, over the
question. You're like,
phone.
"Oh, yeah, I've
Yeah.
done deals." And they're like,
Just
"Okay, good."
100. It's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, they will look at your credit score, they'll pull it multiple times, which is kind of annoying when you have your credit, frozen, and they'll ask for just proof that you have the money for the down payment. So, like, a literal screenshot. They asked me for a screenshot of my bank account, which is so 100% not what's happening with normal
Yeah.
cli
No, it is. It's
normal
beautiful.
lenders.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, "Wow, why have I just been so turned off from I wasn't turned off from DSCRs, I think it was just, like, the unknown. And I was
Totally.
like, "Well, when I max out with my 10 loans per person,
Right.
me and Brid, 20 loans, then we'll give." No, I should have gone DSCR from the start.
Yeah.
So thank you to Josh Bowerly, who was part of our 5 Pillars crew, who got me onto that and connected me with a lender. We've had him on this podcast before. Look him up. He's a CPA by trade, big time real estate investor. He's like picked up 50 properties this year alone and is just crushing it. So what are your goals long term when it comes to real estate investing?
No, let's turn this back to you. What
Oh,
are your goals long term when it comes to real estate investing? Because you've picked this back up recently and you are in the process of acquiring that 7 unit with your DSCR loan. What are your plans? What does the future, either 12 months or 12 years, whatever, 120 years look like for you?
yeah. Since I got my license as an agent, I like fell in love with revenue share. And the amount that I started making with revenue share and helping other agents, which I liked so much more than taking tenant phone calls, I was like, revenue share is the way. Like 100% I make significantly more with revenue share compared to all of my rental properties combined. So the first 3.5 years, since I've been an agent up until now, I've been 100% like, let me put my real estate investing on hold. Those numbers are not working out, or at least the deals that I was running. Um, I like rev share, and it can still have the compounding effect, with our community continuing to grow. So let me go on all in on that. But now I don't know, I feel like I always want like an even seesaw. Like I don't want
You don't want
my
all the eggs in one basket.
yeah. So
Diversify is what they say in the investing world,
very true.
right? Because 'Cause we're
Very
investors.
true. 'Cause we're And so I'm like, all right, I really have not shown any love to my rental portfolio. Like, yes, we're continuing to purchase one property every year, whoop de doo, at like better rates because it's owner occupied. And I think we're going to continue doing that. So adding on just a property here and there. But I want to scale that faster. And so this is my first time where I'm under contract on a commercial loan. I think my next step to like actually answer your question of what my goal is I want to do seller financing because at this time the rates right now aren't the best. Like the 7 unit, I have 8.375% interest rate. That kind of sucks, so and I can get a better deal with seller financing. So I want to figure out a way to not have to scout my own deals, like be my own wholesaler, like I'm still somewhat new to St. Paul or at least this area. I kind of like this area as far as investing goes. No one really talks about Minnesota. Um, and I think you could still get some good deals here. The numbers seem to pencil out. So that's my goal is to pick up some seller financing without a bank, like me put a down payment to the seller, and work that out that way. So where I can get a decreased interest rate and I can cash flow from day one, seller can make money. And that's what I like to do. Continuing to do some more on apartment buildings, 7, 10, maybe 20 units, depending on the numbers.
Dude, I think that's good. I think the diversification is smart, and it's kind of like goes back to the reason why we want to start this episode, where it's like, hey, just a reminder, do this, continue to acquire. I know it's hard when you have so many things going on, and especially when you're new. I wouldn't say like maybe do you, but like when you're brand new, fucking whoa, no cursing. Figure out one thing first. Figure out how to be an agent. Get that at least to a place where you're like relatively competent, and then pick your head up and take on a little more, which in theory, real estate investing, or you could do it the opposite way. It doesn't matter. But the whole thing is like if you're trying to learn a million different things all at the same time, it's going to be really hard to get proficient at anything. But the minute that you do have time, get those doors, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be even more like tactical, I guess, my goal by the end of 2025 is to have 10,000 a month cash flow from rentals alone. So that's my goal. And then at least for the next 7 months. Oh my god, I can't do math. 9 months. and uh and then over on just past that in the next couple of years, just increase that by like, I don't know, another 3,000 ish a month. I'm sure at some point, like I kind of project that my next 3 years is going to be focused on real estate investing again, and then I'll go back to rev share, and I'll just kind of increase the revenue or the cash flow amongst the two until I pop smoke from this
And
earth.
all the while, you're going to be doing that daily reflection on what do I really need? Are all of my needs covered? Am I, yes, like, and also being aware of lifestyle creep. This is not directed at Allie, but everyone. As you get more money, pay attention to lifestyle creep because it will creep. And then your terror might never go away.
Mm,
So, what do you really
yeah.
need? What do you really want? And are you making progress towards that?
Yep.
That's for other people, not for
Yep.
Allie. I mean, Allie
Definitely.
too, whatever. Okay. Okay. I think we did it. We're about to hop off and do business brainstorm with our Five Pillars Nation community. And if you guys are interested in learning more about what we do in the land of Five Pillars Nation, please hit us up, Allie and Shelby. Wow. Allie and myself. I hate that I just did that. Um, we would love to talk to you about it. And otherwise, be a bro and share this show.